Alright, so far we've built a start screen, we've built up a level with walls and floors, we have a scoreboard in place, we're looking good, but we have no player, which is kind of like, what's the point of the game without the player? So let's go ahead and get in my edit screen, and all I got to do to make any tile of any kind, anything, is just click. So I'm going to click create, and I'm going to edit the sprite. I'm going to name the type is going to be player. I can do this. There we go, player. And I'm going to edit the sprite, and there's actually some ready to go players in FlowLab. So as you get better at this, more interested or whatever, you can add your own players, your own design. So select category, and this is player characters right there. So here's a bunch of them, and I'm going to start with this one right here. And at full huge pixel size, it looks kind of weird and strange. You could adjust colors or designs or whatever. There's actually 3 frames of this character. So what I'm going to do next is click on this button here, little film strip, and that's going to add some animation. So pick animation, don't have one yet, we're going to create one. So this animation is going to be called run or walk, runs few letters, I like that. So click OK, and so the first frame is this basic frame. I'm going to add a frame and choose frame 2, add another frame and choose frame 3. So normally, if I wanted to add, change the speed of this, I would have to add frames. But FlowLab uses this delay function to change how fast each frame plays for. So each frame here is playing for, I think, 3 frames out of probably 24. I'm not really sure what the frame rate is here. So I can speed it up. Well, that's a more delay. So bigger number means slower, slower. Smaller number means faster, faster. So there's this. And I'm going to click OK. So if I drop this into place and run the game, nothing happens. And now let's see why that is. So if I click on the player, there's a few things I need to adjust to edit. So we're looking at the physics of the player. We want to make sure the character is movable and is going to respond to gravity, which is up here. You could uncheck that if you want to, but why? You want the character to fall into the picture. We're not going to enable rotation with this at the time. And properties, everything else here looks okay. So now we should be able to play, and now the character drops. What the character does not do, however, is respond to our arrow keys. This is actually be quite simple and quick. Let's go back into the edit screen by pushing the edit screen button or escape, and select the player, and we're going to add some behaviors. Now these behaviors will happen actually all the time. There's actually a built-in bundle for this. You can learn how to design this. So if I choose the run and jump bundle, it's already in place. Okay. So it adds it, and it's just this little tile. Now what's actually in here, if you double click it, is all this stuff. So if I move this, if I run this by testing it, now my player can go back and forth. But you'll notice, even though she's going back and forth and she turns and everything, you can actually watch the logic happen throughout this. So it's kind of neat to watch the connections on the spaghetti strings connect and what's happening. Okay. So that's useful, but I don't see the character running, and that's a really simple thing to add. I think it's a property of the object. So the object has a property for animation, and I'm going to move this up so I can see where I'm working again. So if I stop testing, then I can slide this. So the animation, there's only one animation available called run, and I'm going to loop it, got to loop it, and then we're going to say when the player presses the left key, it'll start. Similarly, if they're holding down the right key, it'll start. But when they let off of those keys, which is up, we're going to stop the animation. Up and stop the animation. So that's pretty much the deal. Now when I play it, running back and forth, both directions, and again you can see all the logic happening when you're pushing the buttons. And does it jump? She jumps. And does she jump big enough to get up to the next level? Next stairs there? Oh, kind of. And there we go. So now it works all the way through, and you can click OK. And that's pretty much it for adding player movement. You're doing a good job. Keep up the good work.